But I am not unpopular.
This is a bad week to be this guy.
Trump appears to be sleeping. His head keeps dropping down and his mouth goes slack.
Trump's in court for having to pay off a porn star, and he can't even stay awake.
Now, Sleepy Joe would say...
Sleepy Joe's not so funny now, is it, Chubby Fingers? And you know what's bad when you read Trump's own tweets begging for immunity? Crooked Joe Biden wants presidential immunity to be protected perhaps more than any other living, barely. If it isn't, and having absolutely nothing to do with me, he will surely be indicted and tried for as many dishonest, illegal, or incompetent actions. Afghanistan disaster, southern border catastrophe. A president should not be placed in that position. Must be free to make decisions, hopefully correct ones. Trump won't get immunity, even from his friends on the Supreme Court. So get used to what you're seeing.
Just this week, it was reported that an illegal alien, and you just look at this.
Right now, we're going to move on to former President Trump defending his social media platform after big shifts in the stock price. He's calling Trump media and technology groups solid after shares initially soared, but then dropped more than 20%. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky joins me now for more on that. Aaron, this 20% drop wiped out $2 billion in value, the value of Trump's stake along with it. How significant is that?
Well, it's significant because on paper, Trump made billions, and a lot of the other stakeholders did as well. But with the stock dropping, that value diminishes.
Truth Social, Trump's answer to Twitter, it's just another in a long line of futility for tiny fingers. As you heard a few weeks back, its stock was once worth billions.
I'm very rich. I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. Fortunately, I'm very rich.
But then Trump did his magic, his only true talent, destroying anything he touches. Truth Social stock is dropping like Trump's belly after taking off his man girdle, dropping like his poll numbers, dropping like Junior when he sees a white line in the road.
I have a cocaine addiction.
It's a bad week for the Trumps. And you can't fault Joe for having a little fun at Tiny Finger's expense.
Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny. I hope you're all able to make $400,000. I never did. But they're not going to pay an extra penny in federal taxes. That's a promise. Nobody. Not one penny. You know, I have to say, if Trump's stock in the Truth Social, his company, drops any lower, he might do better under my tax plan than his. Possible.
Joe Biden and the Democrats have brought this up many times before. Tax the rich, and guess what? The economy goes through the roof. That's right. The middle class will take their tax breaks and spend them, and the economy will continue soaring. And does anyone who isn't a billionaire have a problem with billionaires paying a higher percentage than a school teacher? Because they don't right now.
Jeff Bezos, the richest person on Earth, paid a true tax rate of 0.98% between 2014 and 2018, despite his wealth growing by nearly $100 billion in that period. The average American pays a rate of 14.6%.
So how does someone fall asleep while on trial for their very freedom? Better question is, how do we know he doesn't do this every day? Sleepy Joe? More like dozing Donnie.
That apparently happened in the courtroom. I mean, I do feel like if you call your opponent Sleepy Joe, you have one job.
Stay
for the
awake.
rest of the campaign, which is like, you got to like clockwork orange those puppies, like open at all times.
Trump tweeted he wasn't sleeping, he was praying.
I am the chosen one.
I don't think so. Chubby Finger's cognitive decline is real and happening right before our eyes.
Battle that was, the Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow.
But whether Tiny Fingers is awake or dozing in prayer, the trial is moving forward, and Trump is proving that he is not only possibly the worst businessman in America, I mean, the dude bankrupted a casino, but he's also the most dim-witted president ever.
Donald Trump has an encyclopedic memory.
That an illegal alien, and you just...
Of his speeches, of the agenda, of the policy plan.
That an illegal alien, and you just...
Of what the mission is for whatever we're talking about.
Legal alien, and you just...
And whatever we were doing on a given day in the West Wing. That's how he was able to give a speech and then take an issue and dissect it.
And I love women more than I love anything.
With the 15 or 20-minute specific drill down on that issue, that subject, that topic, that story, that anecdote.
Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late.
Let me also just say, since we're addressing the subject of style, the most stylish president and first lady in our lifetimes.
I moved on her like a bitch.
Looks like a walking corpse.
Trump and his Fox friends are bitching about the jury and the pace of the trial, but my favorite is Trump complaining about voir dire, the actual selection of the jury. Trump tweeted, "I thought strikes were supposed to be unlimited when we were picking our jury. I was then told we only had 10, not nearly enough when we were purposely given the second worst venue in the country. Don't worry, we have the first worst also as the witch hunt continues. Election interference." Dude, you weren't given the worst venue. It's where you committed the crime. And of course your Fox sycophants jump right on board, sounding confidently uninformed as only they can do.
Well, Donald Trump was in court yesterday, and jury selection, they narrated 7 jurors were sworn in for this hush money trial. 11 more are needed, but Trump
Don't you think
left.
that's quick to get 7?
Well, especially after the
Given
first
0
day.
the day before.
Yeah, exactly. A tech worker, an English teacher, an oncology nurse, sales professional, and software designer or engineer, and 2 lawyers.
2 lawyers.
But look what Trump did. He left the courthouse and went up there to Harlem.
I love the part where Trump is shaking hands with the African Americans against the backdrop of his racist rhetoric in New York.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
As you might expect, whatever happened in New York, Trump will claim it's a hoax and blame blue states like New York and Georgia. Georgia?
We're in a blue state. That's all by design. Don't get it twisted, folks. They do this intentionally, just like they're bringing the one in Washington, just like Georgia. They pick these states on purpose.
Georgia isn't blue. This is the home of Dairy Queen and her 9th grade hillbilly base. However, there are old school Dixiecrats in Georgia who hate Trump because, well, he kind of brings that out in everyone. I mean, when a red state elects a Jew and an African American to the Senate, it shows you things are changing.
Bragg urging Judge Merchan to warn Trump future violations of the gag order can be punishable with up to 30 days of jail time. Ashley, good morning. Your reaction.
Good morning. Yeah, I've always thought from the beginning that all of these cases are really helping Trump. And obviously, if he really did raise the $1 million, which I believe him, it's continuing to help him. When 60% of Americans do not believe in our judicial system, and 1 in 3 don't even understand why he is in trial today. I mean, I do this for a living, politics for a living, and I can't keep all the trial states.
I have no doubt you can't keep it straight. You're on Fox. But it doesn't matter what Fox thinks or anyone in Trump's circle of lies, because they weren't on the grand juries, and they won't be on this jury. Trump destroys everything he touches. But to paraphrase MC Hammer, when it comes to these 12 New Yorkers sitting in judgment, you can't touch this.
Hi, what's up?
Time to pack it up.
Who's with me? This isn't their Republican Party anymore. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Thank you so much for watching. You know, YouTube frequently penalizes my videos for taking on controversial subjects, hurting our ability to earn ad revenue, which we use to hire more hosts and make more videos. We think it's so important to make these videos now and expose a Republican cult. So please join us on Patreon. The link is in the comments. We literally can't make these without you. Thank you so much. For Really American Media,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.